And I would like to invite all the speakers so that question answer session can be taken. I request Dr. Sabina Langer to start with the question and answer session, please.
Thank you, Dr. Harshvardhan, for comparing the whole session, and thank you, our lovely speakers, Dr. Swati and Dr. Vandana, and for very, very informative talks, not only for the whole participants, for all of us here. And before okay, let me take first question. I think first is, there are two questions which are mainly clinical. So I'll be asking Swati, but I'll be also asking some questions of my own. So, Dr. Damodar Vishnu Lele, prognosis of thalassemia minor. This is, I think, for Dr. Swati. What precautions are necessary for the patient? Can he work in industry? Any restrictions?
So thalassemia minor does not need any precautions. There are about 25% Indians, 25% people around you who are always thalassemia minor, and they lead a very normal life. This comes as a conventional statement whenever we are counseling everybody that even Amitabh Bachchan is a thalassemia minor and he does not have any problem, definitely. So thalassemia minor, no precautions necessary. Just an additional caveat that if you are in addition an iron deficient also, then you can be tested and you can have a better hemoglobin, a better QOL as compared to a normal thalassemia minor. You can work in any industry you want. You have no restrictions on your working, on your sports, on anything. But definitely, you are those who actually transmit the thalassemia major. So be aware of who you marry, be aware if you get married, get tested before having kids, so that you do not pass it like a major to the children.
Thank you, Dr. Swati. I think that would answer Dr. Damodar's question. I have a question for Dr. Vanna. So you have been talking about the latest technologies like NIPT and next generation sequencing to evaluate the embryo before doing IVF. So what is the turnaround time of these tests? Because these are very important, pertinent questions. Their decisions need to be made. So what are the like NIPT and all? What are the turnaround times? Has that improved?
See, usually NIPT is a different test and PGT is a different test. NIPT is usually when a lady has already conceived and then they want to get it done, whether the bearing child is affected or it's tetrate or it's absolutely normal. Generally is being done for the high risk pregnancy cases, or they have already been aware about their career status, the male and female, or maybe the previous pregnancy loss because of the affected child was there. So they are being offered for the NIPT. Usually these tests used to take not that much of high time. Basically, this is a standard NGS time, maybe taking 15 to 20 days to get the NIPT done. And because it's a simple cell-free DNA isolation, fetal cell isolation for the maternal plasma, and then you can do the testing done. But whereas pre-implantation genetic diagnosis is involved, that is altogether different process, because in that case IVF has already been done and embryo has been produced. These embryo will be taken from the specialized laboratories and culture will be done, and then these embryo will be subjected for the NGS. So this is a little longer process, and that too depends whether a person wants to see for the chromosomal abnormalities only, or wants to see not only thalassemia but other monogenic disorders like cystic fibrosis, Hunting, or any other monogenic disease. Anything they can see, or any structural variants. These three PGT tests are these separate different tests. So one has to opt for whether they want to go for the PGT-A, PGT-M, or PGT-SR. Right. So this is a little time taking process because embryo culture is there involved, and then NGS will be done.
Thank you, Dr. Vandana, for beautifully elaborating these techniques. And I think these are the future of our diagnosis and technology. Let me come to the next question for Dr. Swati. Does treatment differ whether it is alpha or beta minor or major or type of HB?
So definitely, actually, it all depends on, in thalassemia, we always talk about something known as genotype-phenotype correlation. So in a case of, let's say, a beta thalassemia or a major or an intermediate, the spectrum actually decides how you are treated. Same is the treatment with alphas. Some alphas, you can never pick them. They present as hydrops fetalis and they just die before birth. Then some alphas go to adulthood and we pick them up because we are doing a prenatal diagnosis and there is a microcytosis found. So it all depends on how phenotypically you manifest the disease, how much microcytic, how much anemic, how much transfusion dependent you are.
There's another question. What is the role of iron chelation therapy by Dr. Biswajit Janna?
So the role of iron chelation is actually, as I was talking, the treatment of thalassemia is blood. But what comes as a problem of the blood is iron overload in the body. Now that iron is supposed to be good for you because your lack of blood, but that iron does its own play and its own havoc by depositing in various organs, such as liver, heart, then your pituitary, your bones. So that iron causes leg ulcers. It causes a lot of problems. So we always want that iron level, or how we check it, the serum ferritin level in the body, to be at a certain level so that it doesn't cause the havoc. It's like a balance, maintaining your blood and maintaining your iron. So obviously iron chelations, as I always say, they work like husband and wife. They have to work together.
Thank you, Dr. Swati, for well explaining the questions. And thank you, Dr. Mamta and Dr. Harshvardhan. I think there are no more questions. Just
I
one.
have a question. I have a question, Dr.
Yes.
Sabina, from Dr. Swati and you as well. So as it was mentioned in your presentations that 20% of the population, 25% rather, is impacted. So what are the steps? Because like today we are commemorating this World Thalassemia Day. So what are the other steps in routine are being taken so that people are actually informed? Because we are staying in a very metro cities and all. What about the interiors of our country and the rural urban population, semi-urban population? So is there any awareness program? How do you communicate to them?
There have been mass screening drives for screening thalassemia, like Nestrov test has been used. But nowadays, I think the government of India is now has inclined more to use point of care testing. This Gazelle test was initially like used for sickle, and now it is getting validated, so it can be used to screen thalassemia trait as well. So it is a bedside test. And yes, there are many mass screening programs going on at all the national health levels to screen out thalassemia traits. And as a rule, in every screening in every CBC, we are supposed to mention in the end, as a diagnostician, we're supposed to mention in the end whether the indices are favoring thalassemia trait, and to make aware that patients should get tested and diagnosed.
So are
Yeah,
they part
to
of
add on,
regulatory
madam,
follow-up?
I would like to inform all the panelists also and the speakers that in Hindurao also we are having a thalassemia cell, and we are collecting samples from all MCD schools and other schools for the children's, and we do through HPLC, and we are also trying to spread awareness among their parents, teachers, so that we can give information about thalassemia and how to go
So
in
that's
future.
why, yes, Dr. Harshvardhan, so nice of you to say that in your hospital also. So my question is only that we are sitting in metro cities. What about suppose we call interior of Bihar, interior of UP,
Then,
or other states in south and east? So
ma'am, may
are these
I add?
facilities available?
Actually, I feel that, being, health is a state subject. So that is the limitation. And if the central government and the state government, they work in tandem and they can formulate some, I think awareness is more important, screening and
That's what my
awareness.
question was from Dr. Swati and from Dr. Sabina, because they are from big institutes, that what awareness programs, not only for your own hospital and your own city, but to the other cities. What is there any drive? Is there any website available where, because many a times
There is one National Bal Yojana program for helping thalassemia majors for transplant.
some
which
child
provide
is
about
born
10
and
lakh
child has
rupees.
some problem.
So there is a
So
Bal Yojana program for thalassemics, which provides 10 lakh rupees for transplant of these patients that has been implemented.
So preventive
Uh,
measures. So like educating our upcoming generation that when they get married, so they should get their gene mapping done and their screening of thalassemia trait, so that as it was discussed, so that no major trait risk assessment as we talk about in diagnostics. So how many times Dr. Swati and Dr. Sabina have you experienced that as for risk assessment, this screening test you have received in your lab? Like pre-marriage, pre-conceiving, or
There is
maybe pre-marriage
definitely,
only.
so definitely we get all the HPLC from all our gynae departments that we have, and also from the IVF department. We have, we get both the spouse and the lady. We get HPLC every
But
time.
prior to marriage, is that
Those are
awareness is there?
mostly
Getting married.
pre-IVF. Yes, about this, there were drives in different countries to do
Okay.
this pre-marriage pre-marriage testing for thalassemia, but most of the governments have given up on that. There are papers, if you will read, that people have tried to implement this program of an essential pre-marriage testing for thalassemia trait, but there were more social and social impact on that. And so most of the, if you read the articles, most of the governments had now given up the pre-marital thalassemia trait.
Okay.
Okay,
True.
I
just
would
one
like,
point I want to add. We always encourage the gynecs associated. Those are our target, actually, gynecs and general pediatricians. So when we talk about reaching the far-fetched areas, the only way we can actually reach them is it's very difficult to go to every house and pick the diagnosis. So the only way to teach is we empower the healthcare workers, we empower the ANMs, we empower the social workers who are working there to just pick a anemia and get them tested through a point of care. You know that
Screening.
somebody is anemic, at least screen them for thalassemia, because really I know it's a far-fetched dream again, but that is the only way. In
Because the number
metro,
is so high, like 20%, 25%, so that we need
definitely,
to look into it. So
definitely,
my
and
question
even
is
in
for Dr. Harsh. Sorry, please continue.
no, no, I was just highlighting that even in metros, despite sitting in metros, many a times in gynae OPDs, we come like walk-ins who don't know that they are thalassemia minors.
Yes.
And Dr.
So,
Swati is very
so
right.
it's
so
all about
may
empowering
I add two more
Grassroots, we
requests,
need to have awareness amongst the grassroots workers, like
True.
the auxiliary nurses at the PHC levels, and the ayas and all that go to the interiors of the villages.
No, in fact, I would like to add many of the societies associated with the thalassemias and the people who are working like for thalassemias, they are running the campaign in the rural areas also, despite doing too many campaigning and all these things. Then, to the awareness about the disease is not that up to the mark. And forget about rural areas, in the metro cities also, in case you are telling your friend also that get the testing done, in premarital testing done, they are also getting offended about this thing, why to get testing done, though they are not aware about their career status then too.
Significance.
I
So
would
Dr.
like to add
Harsh,
on three more points actually. One is,
yeah, Dr. Harsh, my question was coming to you only. That
yeah, I'm
you're saying
just
you have.
adding on what discussion is going on. In Hindu Ram, I joined in 2005, and since then, I mean, I have seen thalassemia patients there, and they were that time 2 to 3 years old. Now they are married, they are having kids also. I have seen their entire journey, and we had a one program maybe 2 years before where we felicitated all of them to encourage, that they are enrolled in the Hindura hospital. Earlier they were treated by our pediatricians. Now they are adult. So there was a question that how to, take them into medicine, medicine consultants. So it's a beautiful journey. I mean, I feel that on behalf of Kaho also, I would request all our eminent speakers also that if you have some points which we can formulate and we can request the government, I think it will be very good. And on this day, at least we can take that oath that whatever
Yes.
best we
Create
can
the
do for
awareness
the
and help people.
benefit of thalassemia patients, we should do. And I
Uh,
can tell you one more thing, that if you find that people are having difficulty in getting their testing done or blood transfusion, you can recommend them to our hospital as well.
Oh, great. So my question again to Dr. Harsh was that you said you have collected samples from school children. So in Delhi, have you analyzed that data? That what is the incidence?
Madam, actually, I will not be able to pinpoint what is the percentage, but it is a significant number, and I think we need to address it. And I feel that it should be, I don't know whether it has been included in the disability or not, but I feel that thalassemia and diabetes should be included in the disability, criteria. They should be given some sort of benefits.
My question to Dr. Swati is, how successful is the bone marrow transplant for thalassemics?
So ma'am, it is, once we look upon it, it is very promising. Especially if we have a matched sibling donor available or a matched unrelated donor available through donor registries. I would say the success rates go up to 85 to 90%. And the cost of the transplant for those 6 months is far less than what you look upon for the cost of transfusing the kid for the entire life, and is far less complicating than what complications can come in the later life. So definitely a match sibling and a match unrelated, I really promote. Haplo, I would say it's still a gray zone and needs a lot of work on it.
And Dr. Swati, I have one question. What age cutoff you people have taken for the transplant offering? Because generally at the adult age or person has been diagnosed little later, they don't recommend for this thing.
So ma'am, we usually abide by 12-year cutoff.
Mhm.
Less than 12-year, we usually very highly promote. The earlier, the better.
Earlier the
Definitely.
better.
Like recently, we have transplanted a kid 1-year-old. Because the earlier the havoc up to the body has happened less, but we usually take a 12-year cutoff. Having said that, after 12-year, it is not a total no-no, but definitely the complications, the cost, everything goes up.
My
True.
last question for Dr. Sabina, that you mentioned about POCT. So what is it easily available? And what is
It
the
is
cost?
It is still undergoing validation. As I mentioned earlier, one AIM study is already published, so it is still at that validation phase. But a similar prototype, sickle from the Gazelle has, I think, been implemented at various places, even in the government
For
settings.
sickle cell anemia, it is
Yeah,
implemented.
it is.
Okay.
The similar, the other prototype now they have developed for thalassemia, and it is undergoing validation studies. So last they came to us also to do it. There is a study published from AIMS. So I think it should be very soon available.
Thank you very much, all of you. And it was a pleasure listening to such informative talks. And over to Dr. Harshvardhan for vote of thanks.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mamta. I would like to thank all these speakers, Dr. Sabina Langer, Dr. Swati, Dr. Vandana, and Dr. Mamta as well, because she is the main person who has collected all the galaxies, for us in this day. And I would like to thank our Kaho team as well, especially Akshita and Pramod for managing this webinar so, hassle-free. So thank you very much, all of you. And I feel that, once again, I would like to request all of you that we can make some resolution today. And if we can do it something beneficial for the welfare of these thalasssemic child and families, I think it will be a great, work. So I request all of you, after meeting also, we can, through mail, we can be in touch and we can propose. And Kaho will be happy to be part of it. Thank you. Thank you very
Certainly,
much.
sir.
I thank
Thank
all the
you. Thank you
participants
once
as
again.
well. Thank you very much,
Thank you
participants.
so much, sir.
So much.
Thank you, Dr.